Hello, and welcome to the Kelcast, the Hearthstone Arena podcast, where we try to get better without cursing. I'm Keldar, a longtime Infinite Arena leaderboard player and streamer on Twitch. Joining me as my co-host is another Arena leaderboard player, Kellen Abel. If you guys want to find us on social media, you can search Keldar, that's K-E-L-U-D-A-R, on Twitch, YouTube, or Twitter. So, Kellen, what are we doing this week?
Well, we were going to talk about the Always Principle, which is something we're really looking forward to talking about at some point. But there was some big news this week, Kel. What dropped?
Well, it turns out that without anyone expecting it, they decided to release the entire core set. So we now know a couple of the cards from the new expansion coming up, and we now know the whole core set, so we can start to really evaluate maybe the direction they're going. So it should be pretty interesting. All right, so what we're going to do, chat, is we are going to just basically go through the cards. If it's a card that was already in the game, we're not gonna read off every single thing, even though this is a podcast. So we're gonna assume you have some basic knowledge of the cards. You can look them up if you're really that interested. But we're gonna try to go through the whole thing in 45 minutes. So we got to kind of keep a certain pace.
And I will put a link to the core set in our show notes. So if you're curious what each thing is, you can just check the show notes and it'll be there.
All right. So starting off, let's get right into it. So I'll stop interrupting. No, we're going. All right. So we're going to start with Demon Hunter. The first couple reprints, we've got Battle Fiend will be staying into the core set. Crimson Sigil Runner will be staying in the core set. Chaos Strike is staying in the core set. No surprises there. Feast of Souls, a not very used card, but that'll be staying in the core set as well. Now here's our first new card that we can talk about. We have Corvas Bloodthorne, a 2-mana 2/2 with charge and lifesteal. After you play a card with Outcast, return this to your hand. So thoughts, Kel? What do you think?
I think it's a totally fine card. It's really just Bluegill Warrior, but with, is that the right name? I think so. The 2-mana 2/1 charge, but it has a few other upsides. That extra toughness lets it eat a token and give you a little health back. So if the format's really aggressive or token-based, I think it's going to have its day in the sun. Also, it gives you the ability to rebuy it, which doesn't seem that important to me, but it's possible there will be some kind of combo Outcast deck where you end up playing Corvas like 4 times or 2 or 3 times in a turn, and getting a 6-point burst from him.
My experience is it's very difficult to get a ton of Outcast cards unless they're going to, depending on what's going to be coming out. So I don't think it's going to be a very good card, but it'll be fine. But it's not going to be a card you're going to be looking for. And also remember, this will be up against other legendaries. So I kind of doubt this is going to be what you're going to want to take if there's a pack of legendaries. But it's fine. Once in a while, it might give you 4 health or something. But, I don't know how much impact that really has.
Right. It feels like a card that's going to eat a token and give you 4 health in Arena. That's kind of that, and that's great. I mean, that is a useful card. I wouldn't be sad to put that in my deck, but I'm more likely to take a Karen Bloodhoof or some random just generic dirtily minion.
Yeah. All right. And so we have Siteless Watcher. Another card is a reprint. No changes to that card. We have Spectral Sight, another draw card going into the core set for Demon Hunter. We've got Eldrazi Warblades, a card that was originally nerfed, but it's going in as the current version. So that's going back in as a 3-mana 2/2 weapon. We got Coordinated Strike. I'm glad to see this card going into the core set. I'll give my overall thoughts after we get through all these, but yes. We got I-Beam. That card's going in. That was also nerfed at one point, and that's going back in its current form. Remember now that there's also Spell Schools, so it's got Fel cards, so we got to remember that with some of these cards. Here's another new card to the core set. We have Gnarg, Glavesmith. 3-mana 3/2 demon. Outcast, give your hero +3 attack this turn. I personally don't think this card is phenomenal because, again, you have to outcast it. So it's not bad, but I think that it'll be, I'm not sure how easy it might be. It might be clunky sometimes. So,
see, I actually love this card. I think it's really powerful. There's currently a Gyreworm, the 3-mana 3/2 that if that triggers, I think that's a really good card. And this is kind of in a similar boat, but it's significantly simpler to trigger. It also has that demon tag, which may end up being relevant. It looks like they are interested in keeping the demon thing available for the Demon Hunter class.
Yeah. Yeah, like I said, I don't think it's a bad card. I think it's fair, but I mean, like when you compare it to things like Scorpion and stuff, this is way lower. I mean, I'm not saying that it's a high standard, but I think it's fine. If you're in a very aggressive deck, you'll like this card because you'll be able to cycle through your cards faster and maybe do some lethal. I think I still think they want to make the class aggressive, but they've realized that maybe they pushed the aggressiveness a little bit too far. So this card's pretty balanced in that respect. So I think it's a cool card. I don't know how much. I think it's one of those that I'm not sure until I play with it how strong it'll be. But I thought that still whatever one wasn't great, and it ended up being better than
Stilt Stepper.
Yeah. All right, so we got Ash Tongue Battle Lord staying in the core set. Another one we all know. We got Raging Fell Screamer. This is the one that reduces. This is one not play as much. So I'll say it's a 4-mana 4/4 Battlecry. The next demon is 2 less. So definitely a theme of the less powerful Demon Hunter cards are going in the core set, which I think is good. Chaos Nova's going in. All these cards, honestly, all the core set cards, I'm pretty happy with. Now, here's a card that one thing that you'll find out as a theme is there's a lot of cards they brought back that they either changed them a nerfing or they actually buffed them too. So you're going to see a lot of changes. Warglaize of Azinoth was originally a 6-mana 3/4 weapon. Now it's a 5-mana 3/3 weapon. After attacking a minion, your hero may attack again. So, what do you think about this one, Colin?
I think it's worse than Fool's Bane. It has the ability to go face, so if you are in a damage push, it's great, but one of the benefits of Warglaive was you were able to clear your opponent's board, and this is going to have a much more difficult time doing that. In a close game, it's not going to be nearly as valuable as it was previously, and the extra mana cheaper is not worth a full durability on a 3-attack weapon, although it's still a good card. I would be happy to put this card in my deck.
Right. Yeah. Yep. So I think that's a pretty easy, good assessment of it. Now here's the card we have. We're all like, what the hell, Blizzard? We got an 8-mana. It's called the Illidari Inquisitor. 8-mana, 8/8 demon tag. Rush. After your hero attacks an enemy, this attacks it too.
So turn 9 is going to be fun when you get to play this and Pyroblast your opponent. That's going to be great, but
more than Pyroblast.
No. Well, yeah, if you
can go face and then hit his face, and you can do 17 damage the next turn.
Oh, the turn after you can, but on the turn you play it.
The turn after, yeah, but the turn after.
No, on turn 9 you can play this and hero power and hit them for 9 in the face.
Right. Yeah.
Which is crazy to me.
Yeah, this is a card that I could see either getting banned in Arena or change fast. Because
it might get the Coil Fang Warlord treatment where you just never get to see it. It just gets its offering rate dropped super high or super fast.
The scariest thing about this card is that it's a rare. That's not. Thank God it's not a common. But
yeah. So what do you think about the Demon Hunter class as a whole? Do you think it's I mean, it's going to be tough because this is going to be one set in a whole Arena format, but it's going to be the base set for a while. Do you think they're heading in the right direction?
Yeah. I'm going to go over real fast the cards that are not going to be in from that we're used to, that we're basically. So we're losing Shadowhoof Slayer. We're losing Inner Demon. Glaive-bound Adept is a big one. That's a powerful card. Soul Cleave. Satyr Overseer, which was the one where you hero powered, you got a 2/2. That's a very strong card. That's leaving. So, yeah, I think when you look at that, and then like even, where's the, hold on. I'm just looking at these. One other thing here. Okay, there we go. They're losing Consume Magic. We talked about this one. Umberwing. Azul Hurl, which is the 1-mana 2/1 that gives you another 2/1. Twin Slice is gone. Ildari Fellblade, which is the 4-mana 5/3 rush with immune when it's Calcast Altruist. There's so many cards that are leaving. Commander.
They got rid of the auto 2-for-1s. All the ones that were just they would get you a 2. They'd get either kill 2 things or kill something and make a minion. And they left in the Gnarg Glavesmith, the new one, but that's a much more balanced version of a 2-for-1 compared to what they had in previously.
Yeah, and they lost Hulking, Overfiend, Flame Reaper, Wrath Bruth, and Commander of the Illidari, and Netherodamus. So that's all the cards. I think that they did a good job. I think that other than this crazy card I'm a little nervous about, which is the Inquisitor that you see on the see right here. Other than that, I think they did a good job of picking the cards that stay true to what the class is, but are not overpowered and are not bad cards either. I think I actually was a little worried about how they were going to handle Demon Hunter. But I said this immediately, that when they announced the core set, I said, this is an opportunity for them to reset them basically. And And they can do this every year now, and they can change. The one thing also you remember, guys, is that they can change these cards at will without worrying about dust refunds and everything. They can just change these. So
with that in mind, some of the themes that it looks like Demon Hunter is playing with, it's going to be dealing with Outcast. There's multiple cards that interact with Outcast, and it's going to have a demon synergy.
Right.
And then it's going to keep having more weapon things, more things that are just generic kind of weapony stuff to keep it stable. That doesn't seem like a theme or anything, but that kind of stabilizes the class with the Warblades and the Warglaives.
Yeah. All right, so that covers Demon Hunter. I think like I said, it's a solid place, good ground, not crazy. I think that there's a lot of room for them to make cards, and it's good for Arena. This change is so good for Arena, in my opinion, in a lot of ways. Now we're going to move on to Druid.
So let me go over those Druid cards real quick.
Okay,
we're going to start with a lot of cards that you've seen before: in Innervate, Pounce, Enchanted Raven, Mark of the Wild, which got buffed for an extra health, so 2 mana +2/+3. Power of the Wild, Feral Rage, Landscaping, Wild
going
Growth.
Too fast.
So
I gotta keep up. You missed Enchanted Raven, by the way. Just saying.
No, I said it.
Okay.
So all those cards we've seen before. Nothing is too different. I think Mark of the Wild got a lot better.
Yeah.
And then we get to our first new card, which is Nordrassel Druid. And this is a 4 mana 3/5 with Battle Cry. The next spell you cast this turn costs 3 less. So in a lot of situations, it's going to be a 1 mana 3/5 minion, and that's going to be very powerful in the games where that works. It kind of lets you play some of these ramp cards we've seen already, like with Wild Growth, and get I don't know, not go down on tempo the turn you play Wild Growth. Then we've got Soul of the Forest, which we've seen before, Druid of the Claw, which got a 1 attack buff, Force of Nature, Menagerie Warden, which was dropped to a 5 mana minion, as well as its stats dropped by 1/1, so it's a 5 mana 4/4 that summons a copy of a friendly beast. Nourish in its current state, Ancient of War in its current state, and a new version of Cenarius. Can you tell me about this new Cenarius?
He's now an 8 mana 5/8. And he does the same thing. Choose one, give your other minions +2/+2, or summon 2 treants. So instead of it, with taunt,
we just got an extra mana out of it, which is great because 9 mana cards are so awkward in those 2 mana hero classes or 2 mana hero power classes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Druid has a bunch of ramp cards. It's got a lot of token generators that are treant generators in Landscaping and Soul of the Forest, and it has one new way to take advantage of your spell casting. So with the Nordrassel Druid. So I think it's possible they're going to go a spell route with Druid and focus on ramp spells and token generation.
Seems like treant tokens but maybe not as aggressive as a style. So yeah.
Yeah. And no Savage Roar. That's the really big notable one. No Savage Roar and no spells that deal damage. So Wrath and Swipe and Starfall and Starfire, those are all out. So no more Boomkins. It's all ramp and permanent buffs. The burst is gone.
Yeah. And back to Mark of the Wild. If you guys missed it, it's a 2 mana 2/2 now. 2 mana, and it gives a 2+2/+3 buff instead of a 2/2. So that makes that card significantly better for sure.
Yeah, huge. I'm very excited to play that card in the future.
And then the Druid of the Claw. We'll go back to that real fast. That one now is a 5 mana 5/4. It was a 4/4, 5 mana 5/4, transform into a 5/4 rush or a 5/6 with taunt. So those got buffed. And then the Menagerie Warden is the 5 mana 4/4 now that summons a beast instead of a 6 mana 5/5, like he was saying. So I'm only sad, I told this before, I'm only sad that they gave all these ramp cards that are basically useless for Arena, but they didn't change them at all. I wish they could have at least reworked the cards in a way that would have made them not basically terrible. Innervate's just a wash. Wild Growth is a wash. Nourish is a wash. I don't know. Like, they reworked a lot of cards. I don't necessarily mind them having ramp cards. I feel like they just kind of threw these in there. It's definitely really bad for Druid and Arena, so that's a shame. But it is what it is. So, yeah, Druid's in a pretty bad spot going into the core set, at least for Arena purposes.
A lot of those cards just don't have a strong effect in a tempo-based meta. Unless you're getting those Nordrassel Druids or other ways to pay off from casting spells, I don't think you're going to be able to get an early curve that keeps you going.
Yeah. All right, so let's move on to Mage. Or sorry,
Hunter.
Sorry, my bad. So Hunter has Arcane Shot. That's staying. Lock and Load now is Lock and Load is now 1 mana. It's 2 mana. Each time you cast a spell this turn, add a random Hunter card to your hand. So that's definitely a playable card now. Will be interesting. I think it's significantly better than like what Stampede was at 1 mana. So I think it'll be good. I think it'll be interesting to see. You need spells though. It can't just be Hunter cards. I wish this was Hunter cards. I think that would make it a little more playable in arena purposes, but not. It'll see some play. Tracking had it had a big change, but it's not really doesn't do anything. Now tracking discovers a card from your deck instead of getting rid of 2 of them. So, but that'll basically it's better in some situations and worse in others, but it still basically does the same thing. So not a big deal. Web Spinner is going to be added into the core set. That's really cool. 1 mana, 1/1, add a random beast to your hand, so that's cool. We get Explosive Trap, Freezing Trap, and here's a big one in my opinion. Headhunter's Hatchet, which is a 2 mana 2/2 weapon battlecry. If you control a beast, you gain +1 durability. This is one of the strongest Hunter weapons I think ever. And I'm really excited about this being in the core set. It's a really nice addition.
I'm glad it's not Glavezuka. That's for sure.
Yeah, that's true. But I think in a lot of ways, I like this one more than that in some ways. I do think Glavezuka is stronger, but I like this card a lot. This is fun. We're getting Quick Shot. A wild card coming in there that does 3 damage if your hand's empty, draw a card. So that's a good one. We got Scavenging Hyena staying as it is. Here's a new card. 2 mana 1/1, Selective Breeder. Battlecry, discover a copy of Beast in your hand. I think this card's terrible.
Or in your deck, yeah.
Yeah, I think this card's just completely trash. I won't draft this one. I think it's just there's chances you won't have a beast in your deck and it's just too slow and it just does not do what Hunter wants to do, and usually beasts are not the best things to discover generally. So it's a value generator, but I don't know. It's not my favorite card. I don't think
it's slightly better than Novice Engineer. That's how I would describe it. I think it's slightly better than Novice Engineer. And if you have a legendary beast in your deck, it might be worth taking.
Yeah, there's situations where it won't be terrible, but I mean, in a general sense, I don't think it's the best. Snake Trap staying in the core set. Here's one of my favorite cards coming back to the core set, Bear Shark. I love this card. 3 mana 4/3 beast. Can't be targeted by spells or hero power, and has one of the most dank golden animations ever. So I'm happy. Bear Shark is back. Deadly Shot staying. Dire Frenzy. This is a weird one. 4 mana, give a beast +3/+3 and shuffle 3 copies into your deck. I know why they're adding this card back in. There's a frenzy card they added. I don't even remember what exactly the stats are, but that's one of the reasons they added this back. It's coming into the new set they're coming out with here in a month or so. So that's in. And then we got Savannah Highmane staying the same. Good old Savannah Highmane. And this is one I actually am a little disappointed about. They have King Crush, 9 mana, 8/8 charge. With everything about like what they're trying to do with like Rush and not having charge minions and everything, and even just like a flavor perspective, like I just don't know if I really like this legendary being the one they picked. Personally, I would have liked to see something else a little more useful for Hunter, but it's fine.
Yeah. I think they could have gone. They could have gone with like the secret guy that, or that just makes second copies or makes you a second secret when you play one, or I don't know. There were a lot of options. I'm confused by King Crush, but it's not like it's a bad card. It's really safe for them to choose, but I don't know. I would have preferred something more interesting.
And I guess in the course that is sort of semi what they're trying to do, which I get, but I think they could have made a better selection personally, but it's fine. Whatever. Quickly, I'll go over the cards they're losing. Bestial Wrath, Flare, who cares about that? Misdirection, don't care about that. Snipe, Eaglehorn Bone's a big loss they're losing. Unleash the Hounds is a big loss. Explosive Shot's a big loss. And then Gladiator Longbow.
A lot of cards that were just kind of filler. And then a few important ones.
Kill Commands and Animal Companions are actually... Animal Companion and Kill Command are huge.
I think they reduced one of the things that they did throughout these sets is reduce the total burst damage. So Savage Roar and Kill Command are 2 victims of that, and increase the consistency of the cards that they do have. So that's why Animal Companion's gone. So in the core set, you're going to run into a much smoother gameplay situation than you are with the high variance of the previous setup.
Yeah. I don't think Hunter's in the worst spot, but it isn't in the best spot either. I mean,
right.
But every class got hit. Every class Every class, and no matter if your favorite class, whatever your favorite class is, you're gonna feel like it took a hit. I'm just telling you that right now. And that's just the way it is because you like certain cards, you know. Okay, I think Hunter's in a fine spot. I don't think it's the worst. I think Druid got hit worse, way worse than they did. But out of all the classes, I still think Druid got hit the worst. Mage,
Let's move on to Mage.
Yeah, Priest got hit pretty hard too. All right, so go ahead through these cards.
Mage, we got Babbling Book, the 1 mana 1/1 that generates this Mage spell. One of the classical, always picked Babbling Books. Shooting Star, currently in the arena format. Snap Freeze, which was reduced by 1 in its mana cost, so it still freezes a minion or destroys a frozen one, but it costs 1. Arcanologist, that's the same card. Fallen Hero, which is we've not seen in a little while, but that's the 2 mana 3/2 that buffs your hero power by 1 damage. Arcane Intellect, same card. Cone of Cold with its cost reduced by 1. That's going to be a fun one. I think it becomes a lot more viable.
Yeah, I think it's really fun and playable at that cost.
Yep. Counterspell still there. Ice Barrier still there. Mirror Entity still there. Fireball, Water Elemental, all the same.
Slow down. Go just like a little slower. Just a little.
And then, well, okay. And then we have
I'm trying to show the cards too. I'm just saying, just a little tiny bit, just a tiny pause, not a big pause.
It's a podcast.
I know.
So we got Egwin the Guardian, which is our first new card. It's a legendary minion, a 5 mana 5/5 with spell damage +2, and it has Death Rattle. The next minion you draw inherits these powers. Now, I have not seen a Twitter post or anything explaining this card, but my understanding is that when it dies, it gives the next minion in your deck both spell damage +2 and the Death Rattle that gives future minions the inherited powers. So it's basically, for the rest of the game, you're going to have access to a minion that gives you spell damage +2.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a really fun card. I'm excited because I think I talked it out with Callan, and I kind of think like the way to think about this card is it will give you random power spikes where like sometimes it might go on a minion that's too big and you'll just kind of play the minion and never play a spell, or you won't even have a spell. But there'll be times where like you draw it on a 1 mana minion and you have like Flame Strike, which is now you're going to see as 5. Spoiler, sorry. And, it's going to be huge. So, yeah. Yeah.
There'll definitely be opportunities to take advantage of it with the Shooting Star and Cone of Cold, too. Ethereal Conjurers next, which they buffed its health by 1. So it's a 5 mana 6/4. Battlecry, discover a spell. Then they've got Koldara Drake, a 6 mana 6/7. They buffed its health by 1 as well. Yep. And you can still use your hero power any number of times. And finally, the big boy, the one we'll probably talk about from Mage for the next, it's probably going to be the biggest discussion in Arena. Is a 7 mana Flame Strike, same as before, except it deals 5 damage to all enemy minions. So they buffed the damage on Flame Strike by 1 without changing the cost.
Yeah. Weirdly enough, I don't really have a major issue with this.
I think that it's going to be important because they got rid of Polymorph, so there's no answer for specific things. Like, you can't get rid of specifically powerful, really interesting cards anymore. Now you're going to have to go through a straight burn plan in order to remove minions from the board. And Flame Strike is going to have to be powerful enough to kill some big things for that to work.
Another card that's missing that we'll talk about. So Frostbolt's gone. It seems like they're also kind of getting rid of what do you call it? Tempo small removals. So like you can't Frostbolt the big guy and hold it and then Flame Strike. Like you can't get like extra damage on top of the Flame Strike. So I think that's the other reason they buffed it. But yeah, I mean, it's an epic, so you're not going to see it a lot. And it's sure, 4/5s aren't going to live anymore on turn 7. You can't play around it that way, but you just draft bigger health things. You'll be fine. I think it's definitely, I think they did it more for constructed because they just it was not seeing playing constructed. So, I think we might be upset in Arena, but that's really just why they did it. So,
yeah, I think outside of having too many secrets, I think there's too many secrets in Mage in this system. But overall, the cheaper minions are very good. Arcanologist, Fallen Hero, and Babbling Book, and the more expensive creatures give you long-term value. So I think Mage is in a fine position despite losing Polymorph.
Yeah, so big losses were just the Polymorph, Frost Nova, Arcane Explosion. We don't really care. Mirror Image, we don't care. Frostbolt is a pretty big one. That's a pretty standard card that we've gone to love a long time. They lost Sorcerer's Apprentice and a couple secrets that we don't really care about. And Blizzard's also another kind of a bigger one, and Pyroblast. So Blizzard, Pyroblast, and those are the big hits. I'm kind of I'm happy that some of these cards are leaving. I'm fine with Pyroblast being gone. I'm okay. My big thing with Mage that I said before is I wanted I wanted them to remove one of them. I didn't care if it was Fireball or Polymorph. I just didn't think they should have both. So
yeah. I like the way they went with it. I really do. I think that's more healthy for the Mage identity as well.
Yeah.
Even though Polymorph is a classic WoW thing, in Hearthstone, I like it better this way.
I think they're going more the arcane burn style as opposed to like transform type of thing. Okay, so let's move on to Paladin. We got they are getting Avenge back. Noble Sack is staying. We have this new card, 1 mana Secret Reckoning. Secret, after an enemy minion deals 3 or more damage, you destroy it. Might seem a little scary when you first read it, but really what it means is you don't want to take your big 8/8 and jam face first. You want to trade into something. It will make you think a little bit about how you trade. But I think it's an interesting secret. I'm glad it's just not an outright terrible secret, I guess.
Yeah.
Righteous Protector. This is a card. I don't go into major details, but I'm not super happy they added this one as a core set card because it's pretty strong, especially in Arena. So it's like a 1 mana Annoyatron, frankly. So it's pretty annoying. This is the one that I was like, no. The Arjun Protector now is a 2 mana 3/2. Does the same thing. Gives a friendly minion divine shield. But this is one I can't swallow this one. I don't understand it. I don't know what else to say about it, but it sucks. I think it's
gonna be rough.
It's
really
gonna be
tough
dumb,
to beat that card.
I'm fine with them keeping it in the core set. I just don't like the buff. Holy Light now, instead of being 2 mana and healing 6 to anything, he restores 8 health to your hero. It's terrible. I don't know why they kept this one. I don't know. 2 mana. Here we got Pursuit of Justice. It's 2 mana spell. Give +1 attack to Silverhand recruits you summon this game. I like the idea of static effects. I think this card's not actually terrible. I mean, if you can a lot of times give up 2 mana of stuff at some point in the game. So
if you end up in a grindy deck or you're up against a warrior or a priest, I really like it. If you're up against a ping class or even just a rogue, like I think it's going to be a rough card to include in your deck. It's going to be cost you a card and 2 mana to do an effect that's going to maybe do like 4 damage to the opponent over the course of the game. I don't really like that. But if we're up against a priest or a warrior, it's a very good card to have in your deck.
And the other thing is that we also don't know this, and this is where it's hard to give a real pure judgment on anything that they're doing, whether it's buffing, removing cards, or anything. We just don't really know what's coming. So, like, there might be a good reason why this card's in, you know what I mean, for the next year or two, or next year. So we don't know. Aldor Peacekeeper is staying in, same mana cost, 3 mana. Equality was originally 2. Then they nerfed it to 4, and now it will be 3 mana and change all the health of all minions to 1. I like this change. I think if they were going to include equality, 4 mana, it's just so slow and so bad. At 3, it's still not it's still a pretty slow play, but it's definitely. I think I like it. I like that they hedge this. Do you feel the same way?
Yeah, I think it's the right mana cost. It's going to feel frustrating when they have a 1/1 left over and they cast the equality against your big boy, but a lot of the minions these days have a sticky second half or a death rattle that really matters. So I'm not as nervous about a 3 mana equality.
Yeah. This one made me double take. I didn't see it at first. I was like, why are they including Warhorse Trainer? So Warhorse Trainer used to be a 3 mana 2/4 that buffs your Silverhand recruits by +1 attack. Now it's a 3 mana 3/4. This card is insane now.
Yeah, it's way better. It's so much better.
Holy shit. It's really strong. I'm at the blue.
Yeah, for example, if on turn 2 on the play you go hero power and your opponent goes, okay, 3/2, like a 2 mana 3/2, then you probably win the board in Arena if you play Warhorse Trainer on 3. So
yeah,
that didn't used to happen. That's going to be a big change.
So Blessing of Kings staying in, Consecration staying in, Truce Over Champion staying in as a core set. And we are actually adding Stand Against Darkness. Summon 5/1/1s as the core set. So it does look like they're pushing Dude Synergy. They've been kind of doing that off and on for a while, but it seems like they're really going to push it this coming year. This is actually one of my favorite. I want to talk about this card because I feel like this is a good way to explain why I like the core set. So here's Guardian of Kings. It used to be a 7 mana 5/6 restore 6 health to your hero. Now it has an extra health and it has Taunt. And now you take a card that it's still not really great, but it's actually playable and it doesn't feel bad to draft it now. I'm not saying that you want to draft it, but like it's a solid change. I wish they would actually made it a 5/8 if I'm going to be honest, but whatever. Like I just think it kind of makes it a fun card now because it doesn't just feel like you lose because you have it in your deck. You know what
Yeah,
I mean?
with the size of minions as big as they are right now, a lot of times you would play Guardian of Kings and you would heal for 6, and then your opponent would attack with an 8/8, and you'd feel like, oh, I just didn't do anything that turn. Okay, but putting a taunt in the way, now you've dealt 5 damage to that minion as well, or you've stopped something else from hitting you.
Yeah.
I think that's a really important change that allows the card to feel as defensive as it's supposed to as a Guardian.
Yeah, and you'll see more of these changes. I have to say, I'm pleasantly surprised at the amount of effort they put into changing all this stuff. So Tyrion Ford Ring is still in. Same card as before. I believe that's my last. Yeah, that's my last one for Paladin. Quickly, I'll go over the ones they're losing. I will say, I feel like Paladin had the strongest core set.
Yeah.
That I saw. They're losing Blessing of My Hand of Protection, Humility, and Light's Justice. We don't care about those. Hammer, Wrath, and there's not really much else they're losing. I think that's actually important. They kept most of their strong cards, which is why they lost like Sword of Justice, Holy Wrath, Blessed Champion. I mean, those don't.
Yeah, a lot of stuff we just never really wanted in our decks. I think keeping all their good 4-mana cards is really important, and then gaining access to the Warhorse Trainer and the changed Arjun Protector as well as Righteous Protector. That's going to be a big factor in the success of Paladin in the future.
Yeah, they're going to be there. It makes them strong for this year. We have to remember, an arena perspective, these core sets are going to be year to year. So we don't know what cards are going to what sets are going to rotate with the core set into it, but definitely makes it interesting. All right, you want to move on to Priest?
Yeah, let's do it. Let's start off. We got a bunch of new cards in Priest. So first is Crimson Clergy, a 1-mana 1/3. After a friendly character is healed, gain +1 attack. It's fine. I'll probably put it in my deck, but I'm not going to really write home about it. Flash Heal, same, except it restores 5 health to anything now. Wait, no, Flash Heal did before.
It did,
it's not the same as the other card. That's the one that's currently in Arena. Heals only your face. Flash Heal, kind of like it, but it's nothing special. A new one is Focused Will, 1 mana, silence a minion, then give it +3 health. Whatever. I guess it's fine. It probably has a use, but
maybe
it doesn't
you can
feel
use
like
it
it's
to kill
gonna
somebody and do their taunt. I don't know.
Okay. Holy Smite, same as always. Psychic Conjurer has been added to this core set.
Nice.
Coltiran Chaplain is still there. Shadow Word Death is the same. Shadow Form is back, but they reduced its cost by 1, so now it's 2 mana to replace your hero power with deal 2 damage. Thrive in the Shadows is a new card. It's a 2-mana spell that discovers a spell from your deck, but it has the Shadow spell tag, so I'm guessing that would be something to do with that, since they could have otherwise just printed Shadow Visions or something else. Lightspawn is back, but it's a 3-mana 0/4, so it's still a 4/4 when you play it. Not sure if it's better or worse, but kind of depends on the format.
I really like this change. I don't want to talk about it too much, but we talked about it. Basically, the best way to look at this is it's not as good as a 3/4 really, but it's not as bad as a 3/3. It's kind of in the middle of that in terms of like value. But I just like it because it's kind of giving them some curve cards, and I actually like it's kind of an exciting card to draft. I don't know. I like that this changed. Yeah.
One of my favorite cards is Shadowed Spirit, another new one, which is a 3-mana 4/3. Death Rattle, deal 3 damage to the enemy hero. That is an aggressive card, and I've loved playing aggressive priest cards in the past. Shadow Priest does seem to be an option here. Then we got Holy Nova, Power Infusion, same as always. They added Shadow Word Ruin to the core set.
This one I didn't like.
Yeah, not a huge fan of that. Destroying all minions with 5 or more attack can be really swingy. Temple Enforcer is back in its current form, the changed format of the 5-mana 5/6. And then they added Natalie Celine to the core set, the 8-mana 8/1 Battlecry, destroy a minion and gain its health.
I've never seen this card go off when I might play. I've never had it, and I've never seen it.
It has destroyed me many times. I do not care for this card. My opponent usually gets it off the 8-mana 7/7, 7-mana 7/7 Marsh Hydra. That's the card that gets them the Celine.
Yeah, and I'll say, I know that a lot of people don't like Priest. I only will say that I don't mind this card being added because they did lose a lot, which we'll go over. So they lost a lot of stuff.
Yeah, why don't you list the things they lost that are important?
So we lost. Hold on, I gotta click the basic thing again. Mind Vision, we don't care. Radiance, we don't care. Shadow Word Pain's a pretty big one. Yeah. And the other big hit that everyone's talking about is Mind Control. And you're gonna see it. As I go through the rest of these, you're gonna see a bit of a theme here. They lost Lightwell and all that stuff. We don't care about that. So Thoughtsteal and Shadow Madness are now gone. And they also took away Cabal Shadow Priests. So basically what they're saying, and I'm glad they finally They've said this for years, but they've never made the changes that I was hoping for, that they don't like when players have to feel bad when they like lose to their own cards and that kind of stuff. They took away a lot of the steel cards, and I think that moving Priest away from that style is good. I think that it will make people not hate playing it. It was everyone's going to tell you, you've had a Priest matchup where you just is like, I know that this is going to go on for another 15 turns, but I know I'm already lost, and I have to play through it because I'm a good player, but it feels terrible. But so I think they did a pretty good job, at least from from an arena perspective. I'm really happy with the changes. I'm good riddance to mind control and even pain, and they had, and Thought Steal at 2 was terrible. Like, I'm just really happy these cards are gone. So
yeah, and that leads us right into the class that got to get more stealing stuff.
Oh yeah,
Rogue.
All right, so let me go through these. We got Backstab. It's the same. We got Preparation is the same. Shadow Step is still there. I'm very happy about that because though it's not a great card, I just love this card. Bladed Cultist got added. I thought this was kind of an interesting addition. I guess that. I think they're just trying to like introduce people to the combo aspect. Deadly Poison is in. Oh wait, it's a nature card. That's kind of interesting. I don't know. Sorry, just double take. Didn't realize that. Sinister Strike. This is one I think that's stupid. I don't know why they added this to the core set. I think they could have made a much better decision with that. Swashbuckler is back in now. What it does now, it's a 1-mana 1/1 pirate that adds a random card from another class to your hand. It's not from your opponent's class. This was a change made so that you would not face a rogue and then not be able to reduce it and do things that they want to probably do with this type of mechanic. So you'll also notice they gave a lot of the classes their 1-mana 1/1 value generators, which is good. It's a good, nice little fun card, so I'm happy with it. Yeah. Cold Blood's back in. I was really hoping they'd unnerf it, but it is what it is. Makes me sad, but I'm glad it's in the game anyway. This one I actually almost missed and didn't see. Patient Assassin is in, but it actually got a buff. 2-mana 1/2 instead of a 2-mana 1/1 stealth poisonous. I think Dread's real. I was watching Dreads when he went over this. He did not like this change, and I actually kind of understand why he's saying that. It's kind of insequential, except that I guess that there's a way they have a 1 damage AoE instead of a 2, but I don't know. I don't mind it.
It is much better as a 1/2. It really much better.
No, that is true. It's definitely better.
I think it's a good change to make the card playable and viable. And it was. I mean, I just drafted it earlier today, so I still think it's good. But
yeah,
it's a lot better with the extra.
It
health.
really is. It is a lot better.
Surviving.
And here's the card we're all gonna feel like we're facing a priest now. Vanessa Van Cleef is now gonna replace Edwin Van Cleef. Basically, 2-mana 2/3 combo. Add a copy of the last card your opponent played to your hand. This one's gonna make you tilt a lot.
Yeah, imagine flame striking your opponent's board, and then they go 5-drop Vanessa Van Cleef, and now they have a flame strike in their hand. That's gonna be a rough situation.
Oh God, yeah. I mean, it's kind of a cool card, but it's just too powerful, and it's way too cheap for what the effect that it does. There's no way this should be an actually evenly statted card at the top of it. There's no way this should be a 2/3. I don't know. There's everything wrong with this card. Here's a
I'm not as nervous about it as you are, I don't think, but it is going to be good.
I just don't like the cheapness and the design of it. It makes me frustrated a little bit. I don't think it's necessarily going to break the game, but all right. So then we got Plague Scientist is coming back. 3-mana 2/3 combo. Give a friendly minion poisonous. They had Plague Bringer, which was a 4-mana 3/3. And they've gotten rid of that card and replaced it with this. This is way more fair. It makes you have to actually play a card before you can give something poisonous, although it is a little cheaper. So the fact that it requires 2 cards makes it way more balanced. I thought this card was super fun, so I like this card. And it's also it's also understated, so it's not really it's not really that big of a tempo hit. SI Agent 7 is coming back. Same thing. Assassin's Blade is now a 4-mana weapon that is a 2/5. This change made me just laugh. I feel like maybe they were trying to buff it because you can't really make it worse, but they somehow didn't they, Kellen?
Yeah, they have Toxicologist and Deadly Poison in the base set yet now, so maybe I just can't figure this out. I'm not excited to put an Assassin's Blade in my deck.
Yeah, Assassinate got dropped from 5 mana to 4 mana. Really good, basically. Very similar to Walk the Plank now. Now, Walk the Plank had this, he had to have a damaged minion, but this is I like this change. I don't think that it's a big hit, but I think it definitely makes this a lot more draftable at 4. There are a lot of these big hard removals with the way there's lots of death rattles and stuff just became to the point where they were kind of unplayable to take. So I'm okay with it. Tomb Villagers coming back. Really cool card they added. I think everyone's excited about this because it kind of does a lot of things that Rogue does well. It gives you a coin and it's a good body and it just kind of helps you with things that your deck does. So cool addition.
It was fantastic in Arena when it was present last time.
Yeah, it's really good. They lowered Sprint from 7 mana to 6 mana. I still don't think I'm going to take it, but it's definitely a lot better. But the funny thing is a lot better does not necessarily mean it's good.
Right.
So, it is what it is. Okay, so that's all the Rogue cards.
Rogue feels the same as before. They changed the cards, but they really didn't change the class identity. It feels like the exact same class with slightly different options.
Yeah, only real things they lost were like Kidnapper, Betrayal. I don't know if there was they lost Sap. That was kind of a big one for Arena, but we haven't been seeing Sap anyway. I'm really sad they got rid of Fan of Knives. I feel like that one really kind of feels like, I don't know, it's just like throwing knives. Like, I don't know, it just kind of feels like roguelike. So I am kind of sad that one's leaving.
I'm glad it's gone because I don't think Rogue should have access to AoE. I think that is something true. They made a huge mistake with Dark Iron Skullcore, and then they Phantom Knives was just also in that same vein.
Then they made
I'm glad it's gone.
They made that Echo card that did 2 damage. I forget what that one was called, but yeah. All right, so we're firing along here.
Well, let's move on to Shaman.
Yeah. Shaman, let's go.
Shaman still got Lightning Bolt. It's got a new card called Novice Zapper, which is a 1 mana 3/2.
Yep.
With Overload 1, so technically a 2 mana 3/2, but it does have spell damage +1. I think that's a very good card. I'm looking forward to playing that alongside a 2-drop on turn 3 and rushing my opponent down. Menacing Nimbus is now base set, or core set, excuse me. 2 mana 2/2 Battlecry, add a random elemental to your hand. We've got Rockbiter Weapon, same as before.
Yep.
We've got Wind Fury for some reason, same as before.
For some reason.
Very confusing. We've got Feral Spirit, but they've dropped its overload cost by 1, so now it's a 4 mana total for 2/2/3s with Tong.
Yep.
Lightning Storm, which like we were talking about, they reduced the variance on. Now it's a 3 mana, deal 3 damage to all enemy minions.
Yep.
So they just made it better, and they made it so you don't yell at your screen when you don't hit the 3.
And your opponent also doesn't yell at the screen when they hit it. You hit all 3s. So they have no reason to be upset. No, it was making people upset on both sides. So this is a great change. Keep going.
Mana Tide Totem's still there. Unbound Elemental's still there.
Yep.
Draenei Totem Carver's back, but it's a 4 mana 4/5 instead of a 4/4 now.
This is really good.
Yeah, it's going to be quite strong, I think. Hex is around. They didn't get rid of that. They took Poly from Mage, but left Hex for Shaman, which I think is good.
Yeah.
Tidal Surge, and they adjusted it to the current formatting of cards, so now it has Lifesteal instead of Gain 4 life.
Yep.
Doomhammer's around. And then Earth Elemental's back, but they reduced the overload cost by 1 on that as well. So now it's a total of 7 mana for a 7/8 taunt. Fire Elemental got buffed for, I can't figure this one out. 6 mana 6/5 Battlecry, deal 4 damage. I thought it was fine as it was. It's really good in its new form.
Yeah.
And then Alakir got a health buff, but they left it in. So 8 mana 3/6 now instead of 8 mana 3/5 with Charge, Divine Shield, Taunt, and Wind Fury.
Here's another this is another menu where I kind of wish it was a different legendary, but at least in buffing it doesn't really make it that much different, so it's not that exciting. But
just kept up with power creep.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it seems like they want the Wind Fury thing to be something, and they want to make Wind Fury part of Shaman, obviously, because they kept Wind Fury for God knows why.
Yeah. I think overall with Shaman, they kept the exact same class identity, just much like Rogue, but they reduced the variance on their spells and increased the power level of the cards that they already had to keep up with the times. That's pretty much what they did. Yeah. Nothing too crazy.
The other big thing is they're changing the hero power with the upcoming expansion in the new year. So now the Wrath Totem, which is the spell damage totem, will be gone, and they're going to be adding, I forget what it's called exactly, but it's a 1 mana 0/2 totem that gives +1 attack to a random card on your side. So that's great. I think that's cool because it'll, you have 2 totems on the board. All of a sudden, your totems are not completely useless. They actually will buff each other. So that's cool. Notable cards that are leaving. We lost Bloodlust.
Again, burst damage. Yeah.
So not really surprised. They seem to be doing that as a thing. A couple other cards. Let me see. I don't think there's really that much else.
Lava Burst is another big one.
We lost Stormforge Axe too. Earthshock. And that's pretty much it. So All right, so let's move on to the next class. We've got Warlock. They have this new card, Ritual of Doom, 0 mana. Destroy a friendly minion if you had 5 or more. Summon a 5/5 demon. I think this card's strong, but I think it will be. It depends on how much zoo they put out, but I think it's going to be a little bit hard to pull off.
It's going to be hard to trigger, but they're really encouraging you to go wide. That's their mission here. With a lot of the cards you'll see in Warlock, they're really pushing you to go wide and play a zoo style arena deck.
And remember in Arena that you can take cards that are, I always talk about, you can take cards like this, and because of your tapping, you can take cards that are kind of dead cards for a long time, and you can get away with it a lot more. So it might be stronger than we think. We'll have to see. Flame Imp's coming back is the same. Mortal Coil's coming back is the same. Possessed Villager is a good card coming back. There's a lot of cards coming back that just feel good because they're just fun cards that we liked, and they're not like crazy, but they're fun Arena cards. I think Arena actually is going to really benefit from a lot of these changes.
Definitely.
Drain Soul is now, it actually is a 2-mana spell that as Lifesteal deals 3 damage instead of 2 damage like it did before. That's
going to be good. This is one of the few classes that has small removals. Between Mortal Coil and Drain Soul, Warlock really got gifts.
They don't have Shadow Bolt anymore. I kind of like this change. I have no issue with it. Tiny Knight of Evil, I thought this was a weird inclusion. I think they're just never going to give up on discard, but it's in there. It's still a 2-mana 3/2. They gain a 1/1 when you discard. I actually missed this one the first time around too. Void Terra is now a 3-mana 3/4. Its battle cry is the same, where it destroys both adjacent minions and gains their health and attack. But I think this card's kind of good now, because now you can just drop this on 3, and if you don't, you can. I don't know. It's kind of weird because it's still got the same awkwardness that maybe you don't want to like actually kill something, but I do
like a 3-mana 3/4 demon. That sounds great to me.
Yeah, and I mean, you might, I think this card's kind of scary now. Fiendish Circle is back. It's been a while. That's a 4-mana spell that summons 4 1/1 imps. Seems like they're again pushing Zoo. Hellfire's still here. Lakari Fellhound, same stat line, 4-mana 3/8 demon taunt, but now it discards your 2 lowest cost cards instead of 2 random. So seems like they've finally realized that the only way to make discard viable is to make the cost of the discard. This is a good way to balance it. I think they've made a good decision. I think this card's a lot more playable. I'm not saying that we'll take it a lot, but I'm interested. I might take that card a little more. And now here's another one. This is one of my favorite like flavor cards. Fell Soul Jailer, 5-mana 4/6 demon. Your opponent discards a minion, and when the death rattle, it returns it. I think it's so cool. I love this card.
Yeah, it's good flavor. Really, and it's going to mess with your opponent's curve. Yeah, in Arena, it's going to be a really good card at messing up what your opponent's planning on doing. Although the power level overall is not that high, I think messing with your opponent's curve is going to make me want to put that card in my deck.
I really want to make this one golden, just saying, chat. Okay, I'm moving on. Siphon Soul is now 5 mana. For the same reason I don't mind the Assassinate being lower, I think this is fine. A fine change. It's not a big deal. Still pretty expensive for hard removal these days, so I think this change, if you're going to add this card, I think reducing it makes sense. Dread Infernal, 6 mana 6/6, deal 1 damage to all minions. Same thing. This is a new one. This card's kind of scary. Enslaved Fellord, 7 mana 4/10 demon taunt. Also damages the minions next to whoever this attacks. 10 health is a lot. It's a lot easier to remove than it used to be, but man, this card could do some scary things.
Yeah.
So
it's kind of like right now with the 7 mana 4/10 Enrage, Bone Shore Vanguard.
Right.
If you can't deal with the Bone Shore Vanguard, Enslaved Fellord punishes you much more for not dealing with it than Bone Shore Vanguard does. With Bone Shore Vanguard, you can sit there and let their thing live, and you can build a board. And their best play is to attack your guy and get 2 extra attack.
Yeah.
If you do that and build a board in front of an Enslaved Fellord, they clear your board. So it's a little terrifying.
Yeah. And they seem to be pushing the whole thing with buffing demons. Like they have the 3 mana 3/4 that gives it extra attack, and that kind of stuff could be really.
Oh god.
Yeah, right. 7/10 going in.
Gaining 21 health. Yeah.
Twisting Nether's in. Okay, I'm gonna be honest. I actually kind of wish they would have like reduced this by 1. I'm not saying that it's undraftable at 8. I don't really ever take it at 8, but it's not my favorite card in, to be flat out honest with you, but it's there, whatever. Jirax has had a change. I don't know if this is going to be an arena or not. I actually didn't have time to check this out. But instead of him putting you at 15 health now, he is a hero card. So what happens is he does the same thing, has the same hero power, has the 3/8 weapon, you get 5 armor, and it's everything else is the same. So you can play this when you're at 30 health. If this is an arena, it's going to be insane.
Yeah, the downside in constructed is that you can't go back from being at 1 or 2. But in arena, this is almost purely a buff because rarely are you going to could you ever have cast or access at that point anyways.
Yeah, and they've always kind of kept heroes out of the game because of like how strong they're in arena. So I kind of have a feeling it's not going to be there, but I don't know for certain. Let's just go real quickly what they lost. Anything that's important. They lost Mortal Coil. No. Sorry. Soulfire, Shadowbolt, Voidwalker. They have Hellfire. Let me see if there's anything else. I don't think there's anything else really important.
No, it feels like they kept the class identity. They just streamlined the directions you can go. Now you either go control and you go the Fell Lords and the Twisting Others and the Draxus, or you go cheap and you go Possessed Villagers and Flame Imps. And so you're going to have to choose one direction or the other. It's possible there's a melding, I don't know, some type of way to push them together, but it looks like you're going to end up one side or the other with maybe 1 or 2 cards from the opposite game plan.
I am a little sad. There's only one card they're losing, which is Shadow Flame. I love that card. I like even playing around that card. So I am a little sad that one's gone, but it's not that big of a deal. We're going to move on to Warrior. I kind of like what they did with Warrior, so I'll let you go through that one. So
well, we start right out with a brand new card, Bloodsail Deckhand. That's a 1-mana 2/1 pirate, Battle Cry. The next weapon you play costs 1 less. This reminds me of Tour Guide, except a lot better in terms of the stat line. The pirate part is important. The 2 attack is important. But cheap, making your weapon cheap later when you're not even losing tempo on the first card, that's a really strong addition for Warrior. This is going to be so
bad and wild with Pirate Warrior, isn't it? I just realized.
Oh, God.
Sorry, I don't play much, but it's funny.
And then we've got Shield Slam, which is the same card. Whirlwind, which is the same card. Armorsmith, which is the same card. Cruel Taskmaster, which is the same card. Execute, which is the same card. Man, they really did rebalance all these. I did very well. Execute, and then Slam, and then Fiery War Axe, and then Frothing Berserker.
Yep.
Yeah, so a lot of the same cards. Warrior was able to keep a lot of its stuff pretty much the same. Then we move on to War Cache. This is a new card, very much in line.
I love it.
With Hunter's Peg, which is a 3 mana for a spell that adds a random warrior minion spell. A random warrior minion spell and weapon to your hand. That's a powerful addition to the warrior toolkit.
It is.
They used to run out of cards. That was their biggest weakness, especially because there was no card draw for warrior in the core set outside of Commanding, Shout, and Slam. Really,
this might be my favorite addition of a new card in general. I don't know for sure because there's a lot of ones and I can't remember them all, but I love this design. I just love this card. I think it's
the perfect card for Warrior, and it's the perfect way to put the card together too.
And it doesn't, and like I said, Warrior and Arena, just their hero power is so bad. They need it's hard to balance them because you can make weapons they usually get these insane weapons and that can be kind of rough, but this is great. So, and what's really fun is whatever weapons are in the Arena rotation, this is what's going to come out of War Cache. So
yeah. It'll keep changing. Warsong Commander got another change. It got changed a long time ago due to Patron Warrior, but it's a 3-mana 2/3 and has, after you summon another minion, give it Rush. So that is a strong card. It gives all your other minions Rush. That is nuts. It may not be incredible in Arena due to the high mana cost versus stat line, but I'm still looking to experiment with it. Well, I don't know if it'll be incredible or if it'll just be okay or if it won't be worth it.
It actually is incredible only because it's summon another minion. It's not, so you can trade a Egg Napper in and those minions have Rush when they come out. So
that's a good point. Yeah, so if you're able to build up some sticky minion boards, you can
I'm a little nervous because they made it summon. In that respect, I don't know. It's a pretty strong because of summon. That's anytime you see a card that says summon or play, it's a really big difference.
Parade Leader is very good because it says summon. That's true.
Yeah. So
the next card is awesome, and I will take it as many times as I can. Yeah. That is Warsong Outrider. It is a 4-mana 5/4 rush. I just can't get enough of this card. It's either Fireball or it eats something has a big butt, and then you still are left with like a 5/2 or a 5/1. I'm very happy about this card. I'll be putting it on my decks.
It's almost like a Divine Rager, but it has like Rush. I mean,
yes.
like it's similar. Can be similar.
Very similar.
But obviously better, but because of that. But I'm just saying. Yeah, go ahead.
Then we got Brawl, which is the same as before. Shield Maiden's been added in. That's the 6 mana 5/5. Yeah, it's a 6 mana 5/5 gain 5 armor. It is miserable to play against it if it costs 5, but I still think it's not going to be quite good enough in its
Was
current
it 5
form.
at one point? Was it nerfed?
No, it just would be awful to play against if it was.
Okay.
Gorehowl is the same as it has been, and then Gramash is the same, and that legendary makes sense. That's a perfect example of a warrior legendary. So.
Yeah.
Warrior looks like it's the same. I mean, it literally has almost all of the same cards it had before with no changes. So I don't see them doing. The only one that got changed really is Warsong Commander.
Yeah, so they lost Corcoran Elite and they lost Reaper. Reaper's kind of a hard hit. I wish they would have kept that for arena purposes because it was kind of a stabilizing card for them, in all honesty. Only other cards I'm really sad about. Battle Rage being gone, I'm really sad about, but they added the War Cache, so it kind of balances it in a sense. In that way, they lost Upgrade, Slam, and like Mortal Strike and Rampage. We don't care about those cards. So yeah, it is what it is.
Overall, with the classes, it seems like Priest and Rogue are in a really good position. A lot of their cards are really strong. I'm sorry, not Priest. My mistake. Paladin and Rogue. Paladin and Rogue look really strong. Warrior looks fine. Definitely got a buff this core set, I would say, with the 5/4 and the Hunters, or sorry, the War Cache. But other classes look pretty much normal. I think they did a good job of balancing them. We won't know until we actually get to play with the set. For neutral minions, do you just want to go over the ones that are interesting? I don't want to talk about like Abusive Sergeants and Murloc Tiny Fins because a lot of this stuff is similar to what you're looking for.
I'll just go over there, but I'm not going to talk about them in depth. It's fine.
I just want to. There's a lot of cards here. Let's just talk about the ones that are new, like Fogsail Freebooter.
Okay. Anomalies in, that one's fun. I'll go through them fast. Squire, Cogmaster, Archer. I mean, there's a lot of them. Oh, wait, here's one.
There's a ton of them.
I know, it's fine. All right, Stone Tusk Boar got a buff. Well, actually, I don't know if it's a buff. It's now, I actually thought it was a charge still, but it's a 1 mana 2/1 rush now. So that's, they changed a couple of it. There's a lot of these that they change. Let's see here. What else is important? Acidic Swamp Ooze is still there. Annoyatron got added. Let's see. Bluegill is now a 2 mana 3/1 rush instead, so that's there. I'm glad that Alchemist is staying. Explosive Sheep I thought was kind of a weird addition, but it's there. Here's a new card. Honestly, wouldn't have cared if they would have taken all the neutral cards and just redid everything instead of, but whatever. 2 mana 2/2 Pirate Fogsail Freebooter. If you have a weapon equipped, deal 2 damage. That's going to be insane in Rogue. Some of
really
the other classes, it'll be a little bit iffy. People will probably take it in other classes and be sad because they don't have their weapons. I don't know how much I'd take it in every class, but maybe Warrior and Rogue. But all right, so let's see what else is new. Sorry guys, I have to cycle through these if you're listening. Nerubian Egg is back. I actually like that they added this card because if they want to keep eggs as part of this egg didn't suck. I'm not saying that you'll draft it a lot in Arena, but it's fine. Summary Spy, Toxicologist is coming. We still got Brightwing. Oh, Flesh Eating Ghoul got a buff to a 3 mana 3/3. I like this change. It kind of sucked playing it on curve. Now you can play it on curve and not feel super bad, and it's still kind of threatening. I think it's kind of fun that they buffed that one. Homunculus Razorleaf hopefully will still be banned. Rager's there. Let's see what else we got that's new. Ironbeak Sting. That's the same. Lone Champion is going to be there. That's a good arena card.
Wait, hold on. I want to make sure that Injured Blade Master still has himself all caps. Just so you know, I love that. I love that they didn't change that.
They
just would have removed the caps lock on Battlecry. Deal 4 damage to himself. I always love that for Blade Master.
Wait, has that always been there? And I've never noticed that.
I think so, hasn't it?
I don't know. That's why I'm asking because I don't really know.
Let me check it out. I gotta Google it. I thought it had been. I know that himself has, but
now this is the biggest announcement of the whole course.
Yeah, it has.
No, this Mini Mage is getting buffed. It's now a 3 mana 3/1 stealth spell damage +1. Wow.
That's the big news.
Actually, I kind of want to talk about this one just a tiny bit. Raid Leader got buffed to a 2/3. It's kind of fun now. I like that they buffed it at least. Yeah. It's not really still that great. It does the same thing, but it's got extra health, and I don't know. It's a little annoying to deal with now, actually. So it's kind of a better card. What else is different? Oh, Spider Tank's going to be in the meta. We'll have Stoneskin Basilisk in the meta. Baron Rivendare, I don't understand that addition. Big Game Hunter got the hedge treatment, as I've been calling it. It was 3, then it was 5, and now it's 4. So I'm okay with it. I don't really care either way. Chillin' Yeti is here to stay in the core set. Congratulations. Defender of Arcus is now a 4-mana 3/3. That's cool. I like that change. I think it makes it good. I don't think it overpowers the card, and I'm happy with some of these. The cards that they kept, I'm glad they didn't just keep them all the same. Grim Necro's in. That's cool. I like that card a lot. They kept Violet. They kept Faceless. Gurubashi now is a 5-mana 2/8. Kind of more annoying. I don't know. It's funny they kept it, but it's definitely a little bit scarier at 8 health. I'm not sure if I'm going to ever draft it, but whatever. Oh god, this card, Overlord Runthak, 4-mana 3/6 rush. Whenever this attacks,
5-mana 5-mana.
Oh, sorry, 5-mana 3/6 rush. Whenever this attacks, give +1/+1 to all minions in your hand.
Not excited about this one. It is very good. It is a very good card.
It's scary as hell, especially in Warlock.
It is a very good card.
It's
nervous about that.
Yeah, I'm nervous about this one too. Yeah. Tigers here. Oh, this one's interesting. 5-mana 3/3. It's Talon Fordring. It's a taunt divine shield. Death rattle. Draw your highest cost minion. This could be pretty good in arena because a lot of times your big card is sometimes something you want, and if you could draw your Colossus by know it's there, that could be pretty good. I mean,
so you can also, because you will have only 1 or 2 9 or 10 mana cards in your arena deck, you can kind of, if you have Talon, you can plan ahead really, really well.
And I don't think if you look at the stat line, you're really only paying 1 mana for the draw, really. A 4-mana 3/3 Divine Shield is fine. So stat-wise, it's fine. It's a little bit odd statted. Karen Bloodhoof got a buff. He is now a 5/5, and he summons a 5/5 instead of a 4/5. So
great change. Needed to happen.
Definitely. Yeah, he was just getting worse and worse and worse. So that's great. Auctioneer is here to stay, so Ratsmell will be happy. And we got High Inquisitor Whitemane. This is a huge change. 6-mana 5/7. It was a 7-mana 6/8 before. The fact that this can come down a turn earlier is huge in arena perspective. This thing is
a lot of time in the early game. In the early game, you end up with messy boards and you end up making a lot of trades. By turn 7, you're usually resolved, and one player has the minions and the other player rushes them down or clears them with spells or something. With High Inquisitor Whitemane costing 6 instead of 7, now it's very likely that you will have spell or minions to trade on the turn that you have Whitemane. That is terrifying to me. If my opponent trades their 3/3 with my 3/3 and their 2/2 into my 3/2 and then plays Whitemane, I don't know how you come back from that in arena. That's a really tough way to.
This is the worst type of arena card in the fact that this is not a card you really can play around. It's legendary. It's just not. Sometimes you have to make the move to go face, and you could get massively punished and not even have made the wrong play. So pretty scary. Baron Geddon got a buff. He is now. I like this change too. I think he's pretty easy to deal with. So he's now a 7-mana 7/7 elemental. It does the same thing. I think it's fun. He's pretty good now. He was good before, but pretty good change. Baron Stablehand got buffed to a 5/5. I don't really give a crap about this buff. I don't think I'll still take it, but But I mean, you can be like Judge and have the craziest YouTube clip of all time where you summon a rabbit out of it. I don't know.
Oh, that's gross.
Oh, I forgot about we had these. Norzdamu the Eternal, 7-mana 8/8 dragon. Start of the game. If this is in both players' deck, turns are only 15 seconds long. As a streamer, I'm going to be really freaking out with this card, but I am really excited to watch it.
They made it strong enough that you'll pick it at a 7-mana 8/8, and the times it happens, it will be an absolute joy to try and play those games. It'll be fun and crazy and really interesting.
Do you think they made this because of arena? Like seriously,
I think it costs 7. I think its mana cost is because of arena. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Stormwatcher's in this?
Somehow in the set. Don't understand that one, but whatever.
Stormwind Champion is now a 7/7, which is fun. I'm glad they buffed him, and I like his card, so this is good. Arcane Devourer you guess you could call it a buff. It's an 8-mana 4/8 now that gains +2/+2 per spell. It's way too slow. I don't really know why it's in this set, but whatever. Then we have Alex Straza. Is now Alex Straza the Lifebinder, 9-mana 8/8. I hate this card so much. There's only one other one I hate more than this, but it choose a friendly character. If it's friendly, restore 8 health. If it's an enemy, deal 8. So you can either heal your face for 8 or deal 8 damage. I really was hoping that they would finally like not make Alexstrasza like this type of card, but this is actually in a lot of ways worse. In Arena, this is way better because now you don't have this awkward state where you don't want to either like, you know, raise your opponent's health or you don't want to lower your own to tempo the 8/8. This is insane. So
a neutral minion that deals 8 damage to your opponent's face and leaves you with a board with a big board presence. That is, or I mean, more likely you're probably going to kill their big minion and you'll have an 8/8 left over. That alone is that card is so good. Alexstrasza is going to be a game winner, and it's going to be hard to come back from the swing that develops.
Because even if you play this when you're at like 20 life, you might be in a situation where like, you know, the opponent's starting to develop a smaller board. You play this, it gives you just enough time to rebound. You know what I mean? Early on. So it's scary. Next one is Malygos the Spellweaver. Now he's called 9 mana 4/12 dragon. Still, he draws spells until your hand is full.
That card's good. It's not great. It's not bad. It's kind of like a super Onyx Mage Scribe that does the job itself. That's kind of where he's at.
I guess I kind of like it for Arena because I feel like he's actually more playable this way.
I agree.
You know what I mean? So yeah, it's fine. Oh, this is the one. Rip Shomu. Anixia the Broodmother. She now is a 9 mana 8/8. At the end of each turn, fill your board with 1/1 whelps. So where we had a 7 mana 1/7 that did this effect on your board when you'd fill up with 1/1s, now you can't even clear the 1/1s because they just respawn. It is I actually cannot believe they printed a card that was each turn like this. I'm kind of shocked. I know they're trying to push the limited bit, but I feel like this card will eventually either get banned in Arena or it will need to get changed. I'm not really sure, but it's scary as hell. So, yeah.
Yeah, I'm nervous about that one. It's very good. It's going to be fun to have in your deck and miserable to have in your opponent's deck.
Yeah. Sleepy Dragons in. That's fun. I like that card. It's just kind of fun.
Yeah. Big butt.
Ysera the Dreamer. I think I know all the changes to these. So don't freak out. The cards are all different. The Dream cards have been changed, which, thank God, because if they hadn't been, this would have been insane. But this is now a 9 mana 4/12 dragon. Battlecry, add one of each Dream card to your hand. The Dream card is now a 1 mana sap to only enemy minions, so you can't, continually play this, so that's good. The AoE is the same cost. I'm not sure if it's the same cost. I think it is, or it might be 3. But anyway, I know that it doesn't deal damage to the opponent's face, so that's really good. The Laughing Sister got reduced by 1, which is fine. The Emerald Drake is the same. And Nightmare, I believe, is the same. So, pretty strong.
Nightmare is +4/+4, but that's it.
Oh, okay. What about the did the AoE get changed in the mana cost, or is it still 2?
Yeah, the mana cost. It costs 3 now.
Okay, so 3.
And it's only to minions. It's also only to minions, not to players.
Right, that's what I was saying. And it's still 5.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, you said that.
Is it still 5?
Still 5.
Okay,
mm-hmm.
okay.
Still 5.
All right, cool. So now we have a lot of information. So that's it's really, really strong. If you're alive to be able to play it, I mean, the fact that on turn 10 you could play this and just remove whatever their turn was, that's pretty scary. Could definitely flip a board. Then we have the new Deathwing. This is way stronger than the other one. Deathwing, the Destroyer now. He's been in many different forms. He's a 10 mana 12/12 as always. Battlecry, destroy all their minions, discard a card for each destroyed. So this is really good because now instead of having to force yourself to maybe toss out 5 cards in your hand, now you just lose 5 cards in your deck and you keep your hand for the following turn. And that is insane. So
wait, no, you don't keep your hand. It discards cards from your hand. But
I misread that. My bad. I'm sorry.
Yeah, but no, that's okay. But it's way better because you can trade off all your little minions, and then you can basically every card in your hand becomes an assassinate, and you have to cast them all. That's pretty good. I'll take that.
That's so insane, but it's a lot better than what I thought. So that's good. It's not as crazy as I thought. Sorry.
You're right. Yeah.
Sorry, listeners. My bad. I don't know what I was thinking, but yeah.
I like. Yeah, your version was insane. So I'm glad.
I guess I just sometimes I kind of assume things because these dragons were all insane. I definitely do like that they reworked them. And then the last card is Clockwork Giant. So, all right, chat, we did it. We did it in about an hour and 10 minutes. I mean, we tried. It's a sprint. It's a lot of cards to go through. But we did also cover, what cards were leaving and everything. So, yeah, I think it's overall, I can say my thoughts on it to end are I'm happy with the core set. I think that it wasn't perfect. I definitely think there's some things they missed on. But overall, if you really look at the whole of it, like once I absorbed it and thought about it for a day or two, I have to say I'm pretty happy. I feel like it changes the game. In Arena, like I said, in Arena, I think it's a win for us because now every year we get new cards that kind of float back in. It's like getting wild cards that might be like we'll get kind of like a rotation, an extra rotation every year. So it's great for us. So
yeah, it's a more streamlined version of what they were doing before. They got rid of a lot of chaff and they really filled the voids in some of the classes, mana costs and card generation and things like that, like things that they were missing. They filled that back in.
Yeah, and can I just say that get all your classes to 60 so you get all the golden cards. Chat, you make sure you get all the golden cards.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so guys, that is going to do it for this week. We will make sure that next week we actually will do the always principle. It's something I do want to talk about. I know actually a lot of people are looking forward to it for this week. I apologize. We just didn't know this news was going to be coming, but I think it's important that we actually talk about it. So next week we'll be talking about that, which will be kind of a mindset to approach Arena as opposed to an actual specific strategy about a class. So that's going to do it for the Calcast. Make sure you can join us every Saturday, 8 p.m. Eastern on Twitch, or you can download the podcast wherever you get your podcast by searching the Calcast on any of those mediums. You can also find me on Twitch where I stream daily from Monday to Saturday, 7 a.m. Eastern, or you can look for me on YouTube or Twitter by searching Keldar, Keludar. Next week, I said we'll be talking about the always principle, so make sure you tune in for that. We're also going to probably give you guys another week to talk about, maybe we'll do the bad beats thing we were also planning, so if you guys have any bad beat stories, you can share them on Twitter or on the comment section of the YouTube or wherever else you look at your stuff here. Thanks to John Laux for the music used in the episode. You can find the links to all of our contributors in the show notes. We'll make sure we link the core set into the show notes as well if you guys have questions about cards. So that'll do it. I'll see you guys next week.
Peace out.